Well, here we are again, everyone. It's a special sort of bonus edition of the Paul McNally reprise show. Viewing Saturday's game at Skelmersdale United / Burscough, and previewing hopefully tomorrow's game at Bootle against Glossop North End. So thanks for joining us again, Paul.
Paul, thanks.
I had a little look at our programme from Friday, and to quote you, you said, "I don't care, as long as we win, the ball can go in off my arse in the first minute or the 90th minute." And you couldn't have been more wrong, lad, could you?
Wow, all 4 goals, I think, were all fantastic. None of these tap-ins, none of these off your backsides. I think I've just spoke to you before we've come on here, but fantastic. We were taught for 30 minutes in the first half. Some of the football we played was outstanding, and in the final third of the pitch, but I thought for tenacity, aggression, leading on the front foot, I thought there was only one team in it, and that was us, and we were absolutely superb. And then them goals just topped it off, didn't they? And added it, like John McGrath's Walesy, Jack Hazelhurst after 2 minutes. I keep watching that goal. He sends me every time I watch it. Do you know what I mean? And like Sam Ashton's a good keeper, and he's literally rooted to the spot for every one of them goals because they're that good. And Stanch Rooney, wasn't it? It was a top corner, Stanch. Danny Mitchell's header, what a ball by Pete Wiley into him. The move up to it, the interplay, the header. And then John Mack with that. And then second half, since we come out from the second half, I thought we dominated it for 20 minutes, near enough, 25 minutes to the 4th goal. And then once we scored the 4th goal and made 2 changes, forward positions, brought midfielders on, and we dropped our levels then, which is inevitable because you're 4-0 up and it become more like a friendly then. Not a friendly, because it wasn't a friendly atmosphere, but a friendly as in like we'd won it, hadn't we?
The players who were on the pitch at that point, not the lads who've come on, but the lads who've been on. I'm probably thinking, I'm not getting injured here now. We've got another game Tuesday. Let's just see this out. And to be fair, and I'm not being disrespectful to Skem, maybe some of their players were feeling the same. Let's just get off this pitch as soon as we can.
Yeah. So, yeah, they kept going to the end, didn't he? I'll give them that, the credit. And they was trying and that, but I think it was just we dropped our levels and let them get into it. And like I say, it probably, as I said after match review, it took the gloss off it a touch because we've conceded. I wanted the clean sheet because I thought we deserved the clean sheet.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to be. And then once the first goes in, then there's a little bit of their backs are up a little bit, and we can't get the momentum then, do you know what I mean? Because we've already done the hard part, haven't we?
Yeah. Well, let me just tell you, the gloss hasn't come off it for me, mate. I've only just the smile's only just sort of calmed down on my face. It's 48 hours.
And that video on yesterday morning. Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we took the game away from them, Paul, 20 minutes, and it's very rare in this league that you get the opportunity as a chairman or even just as a supporter to just relax and enjoy. And it's normally tense, it's tight, it's 1-1, it's 0-0, whatever. And we took the game away by 20 minutes, and it was those 3 goals, even before we get to Carl Clare's 4th, they were just sensational. And I was just so happy. It's a period of like utter happiness. You can't explain it, can you?
If you say the one game since I've been in charge, that was the pinnacle, that game. And I hope it's not the pinnacle, obviously, but what I'm saying is that you take the standout performances that had the full package in there for that first 35 minutes, 45 minutes at least. I thought we had, don't get me wrong, we were still acting defensively vulnerable at times, but we were right at them. We could have scored 5 or 6 in that first half. We were immense going forward, and that's how I want us to play. It might sound a bit crazy, like 100 miles an hour football, but that's how I want us to play. And the lads, I've got to take my hat off to them. They were immense. They carried that game out to a T, and they were superb.
Yeah. You commented to Mike and Sam after the game that the front 4 were unplayable, and I don't think there could be any doubt about that. But the middle 2 also Berkey and Simo
Yes.
never stopped. Brilliant. But I am so happy at the moment with the defensive solidity, be it Big Ben in goal or on Poggio on Saturday.
Yeah.
That 4 there have given us the foundation that allows us to go forward and play how we play. And that's just my opinion. Like, I know you've got a more technical view than that, but we have been so for the last sort of 2.5 years, so I think vulnerable defensively that you can't withstand nothing. You can't be calm. You can't relax because there's been a mistake in there or whatever, and things just go wrong. But so the whole team, I thought, was just absolutely outstanding on the day, and it was just very, very pleasing. And you don't get those days very often, do you? So I always sign it.
It was like I say, if you'd have told me before the game, which we did, we spoke about. It was a really tough game, do you know what I mean? For me personally, for my staff as well, because they've been there, and also for some of the players that have played for them, do you know what I mean? It's a hard place to go, do you know what I mean? But listen, I couldn't have written that any better because we couldn't have written it as a club. So we'll take the positives, and there's loads of positives from it. We'll move forward. But as you've just said about that defence, they don't get enough credit. They haven't. The midfield suits haven't got enough credit. But we're now starting to have a settled spine, a settled team, which is, I don't think we've had that since I've come in, that luxury. We're starting to have bodies fit. And look at me bench.
Yeah.
I had 5 quality players on that bench. Do you know what I mean? And then a keeper, Ben, who's injured, obviously he was struggling, and there. So we've got lads that haven't made the squad as well, do you know what I mean? So we're now starting to take a bit of shape, and the club's starting to, we're not just stockpiled with players who aren't offering us nothing anymore. We've got players who are here and they can offer us something, and that's what we want. So that was the most pleasing thing as well. Like, didn't even bring Kevin Ellie on or Steely, do you know what I mean? No. So they was a great any team in the league on that day.
Yeah. So it was a great performance. We've also made a gigantic stride up the table. We've gone from 15th. We've gone from 15th up to 11th, which was fantastic. I think a last-minute goal for Colne took a couple of points off Newcastle, which was great, or whoever it was, and that allowed us to really jump to where we should be. But this game tomorrow, obviously, we've played a game or two more than most of the other teams, but I'll have the points on the board every day of the week and twice on Sundays, rather than trying to teams around in this league.
You're spot on, because you can never predict a win in this league, can you? Do you know what I mean? Every game's a battle. Every game you've got to be at it. So, yeah, as you've just said, points on the board is more important than games in hand. You have to win them games, and you don't know what shape them teams are in when you play them.
No,
they could have a loss of form right now when you're meant to play them, and then it gets called off. And then the next time you play them, they could have a different team. They could be in a great vein of form, and them points are not on the board then, are they? So 25 points. Look, I've got my goal, my target of where we need to be, where we want to be, and we're just going to go about our jobs quietly and efficiently, and just keep knocking on them doors and seeing where it takes us.
Talking about going about our jobs quietly and efficiently, there was some bad feeling on Saturday. Obviously, you've gone back there with your backroom staff. 4 or 5 players have followed you. Players you brought to Skem have followed you over to us. They had players in their squad who were ex-Perps. Around this area, there's very few players who haven't played for 3 or 4 teams. You know, they're all going around in circles. No one owns anyone, do they? But there seemed to be a fair bit of bitterness. I had to deal with a little bit of myself. And of course, there was a pretty unsavoury scene at the end of the game involving their manager. I know you don't want to go into detail, and I totally get that. But just for our supporters' benefit, we will probably, the referee has reported that incident involving both clubs, failure to control players or staff. We've got the video evidence that shows exactly what happened. So we're fairly confident we didn't instigate it. We're at our side of the pitch. We're in front of our supporters celebrating. We've had a great derby victory. If someone doesn't like that and wants to follow us over and, you know, attack one of our players, bump into you in an aggressive manner and do whatever, that's on them. That'll all come out in the wash. But we seem to be attracting more and more vitriol. There was some last week, unfortunately, from the manager of Bootle, you know, called us certain
long ball.
It's totally untrue. You know,
he's just talking football terms, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's saying that, like, I don't think there's any malice in that. What he's saying, he's wanting to defend his team and make his team look a bit better. That's all he's doing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But they're not facts, though.
No,
not when I've got 3 or 4 lads in the team that are about 5 foot.
Yeah,
can't be a long ball team.
Yeah, long ball team. Anyway, so there was that unsavoury part to Saturday, but on the whole, as I say, the smiles are still all on the Perps' faces. Everyone, like you've just said, everyone is still just looking at those goals over and over and over and over and over again and enjoying it. There's so many down times in this league where you lose games, you don't get what you need, so you've got to enjoy your victories. And it was a nice night back in that Hopvine pub.
It was a nice night. Thanks for the drinks.
And the staff did. Some of the supporters had gone because of the Liverpool game, but I mean, we had a nice night in there. Yeah. So there we go. Skem, we played them now. They beat us under you earlier in the season. We've got our own back now, and on we move to tomorrow night, weather permitting, against Glossop North End. Again, another team, first game of the season, who beat us a little bit fortuitously with after we had a late penalty miss. So, talk us through that, Paul. Without giving too much away, what do you know about Glossop? What's the score?
I know that obviously at the moment they're not in a great run of form, so they're going to be needing the points just as much as we will be. So they'll be coming here to be tough, hard to beat. They just signed Moses Yoke from Stalybridge, midfielder, but can play also centre half. We know him from Longridge. The other year he played for Longridge in the counties against us when I was at Skem, so we know of him. He's a good player. They'll be hard to beat, as they probably was on the first day of the season when City Liverpool played them. They'll be organised and they'll be coming here to take the points, and we're going to show them the respect they deserve and look to take the points. But we're in a good vein of form at the minute, and I don't like saying it, shouting it from the rooftops. We don't fear anyone, but we never fear anyone, even when we're not playing well. But we're going to do our due diligence on them and look to get the points. 3 points for us.
Yeah, I mean, when we played them first game of the season, the hottest day of the year probably was wherever your game was on.
Stafford, yeah.
The pitch was extremely dry, of course, everywhere was, and the lads, we were down to 10 men after 10 minutes. I won't get into detail, but a stupid sending off after about 10 minutes really hurt us. We didn't play. We were just basically hanging in there until we went a goal down in the second half, and then we absolutely, we piled it on. And we got a penalty. Steely got dragged back. They got a man sent off at that point. So we're down to 10 men, 10 minutes left, and we've got a penalty, and we were bang on in the ascendancy. And unbelievably, the pen got missed. I still can't believe it. Berkey missed it. I don't think he's ever missed a penalty. He's that certain on penalties. I don't know what happened. But it set us off. It set off a chain of events, funnily enough, which ends up with you.
Yeah.
You're talking to me now. Things happen in football, and it was a bad start, and it got worse, obviously, after that. So, from our perspective, we don't like teams doing a double over us in the season if we can help it. Obviously, it happens sometimes, but we'd be looking, hopefully, to carry on this good form we're in and get some good goals.
We owe them one, obviously. That's from that feeling, from that game. So, we'll be going to attack them, as I say, with our own. We've won a decent crowd. And we just want to carry our momentum on. That's all we want to do. Just moving forward in the next few games, we want to play every day now. Do you know what I mean? That's how. Whereas before Christmas and a month or two ago, you were like, you're dead in the game. You're saying, let's have a week off. Let's have another one.
Yeah.
And let's regroup and let's train. But now when you're playing, you want the game to come and thick and fast, don't you? So that's confidence. And I think you can see that in the group that. And in the supporters, the fans and yourselves, we have a belief now that, look, we can play these teams and give them, we've played, like Skem, Runcorn, Bootle, the last 3 games, and we could easily come away with 9 points there. The Bootle game, we've dropped points there now when you look at it, because we should have got something now when you look at it. So 9 points, and then the Rams-Boston game, that would have been 12. That would have been 4-4 then, which I think we fully deserve. But we haven't. We're still unbeaten in 4. And we're open to look and make it 5, make it unbeaten in 5.
And as well as like the great performance, the great football we played, I've also sensed a steely determination. And no one epitomised that more going back to Saturday, I think, than Danny Mitchley. So we talk about a different player every week. So let's talk about Danny, because that's someone who, from the moment I bumped into him in the car park before the Linnets game, and he said, the future starts now, or words to that effect. Today is the day. And he's epitomised that mentality. Now we're going to start doing it now, because he's been sensational the last 3 or 4 games, Danny.
Been outstanding, hasn't he? And going back to the game on Saturday, we walked into the ground and there was 1 or 2 who were coming up to us to shake our hands, and he just kept walking. And he turned around and said to me, look, we're here to do a job. And he's spot on. And he did do that job, but he epitomised that game on Saturday. So after 30 seconds, the ball come into him, and I think it's not a foul. He's just got his body in the way. And the lad's gone into the sides there, hasn't he? But it's just the strength of him. And he bullied them on Saturday. He bullied their centre-halves in a nice footballing way, not in an aggressive, elbowing way. He bullied them, and they knew what they were up against because they've played with him for long enough. But he's immense. On his day, and he's having more and more of his days for us, he's the best number 9 in the league. There's no 2 ways about it. We've got the best number 9 in the league, and now the club and the team have started to realise that we can play to him, and he can hold the ball up, and he'll take defenders out the game. We've now started playing that way to him, and the lads know that if it goes into him, it'll stick to him, or it'll go in behind, and they're looking to gamble, aren't they? So it's good that he's putting his imprint on the team that way.
I mean, I like the lad, but that's a bold statement. The best number 9 in the league.
Yeah, he is for me. Well, I said it when we were in the counties, when I said Skelmersdale as well. But no, listen, it is a bold statement, but I don't mean a goal scoring, like, as in he'll score 30 goals and be the best number 9 in the league like that. He's the best target man, front man, number 9 in the league by far. He is. And it is a big statement because there's some heavy players in this league.
Yeah. That the incident you're talking about after 30 seconds, we were on the other side of the pitch, and it's not relevant because it wasn't a foul, but the clank that the fella made when he hit the board, that I thought that set the tone for the whole game. What Danny done, and I was made up with it. A minute later, we've scored, and then his actual goal, which was a great move out from midfield, while he put a great cross in, and Carl Clare and John McGrath all had assists. He was so calm with that header, though, wasn't he? It was just just directed downwards off the pitch.
The pace on the ball from Pete Wiley, because that was some cross. If Trent delivers that on a Saturday for Liverpool, you're saying, what a ball in. So you've got to give the credit to the cross as well. But
that's it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But the way he's just moved his head, and it's just bang, corner, isn't it now? Middle of the goal sort of thing.
Middle of the goal, but it was past them.
The power took it, you know what I mean? He directed it very well. And Mitch's movement, he got in between the centre-halves anyway, do you know what I mean? None of them by him, so it was great movement by him, and that's what you get from him. And it's not just his goals that he brings to the team, as I say, it's also his hold-up play and his all-round play. And if you looked on Saturday, I think most of that team was scared to go near him. Every time he got the ball, they were petrified, do you know what I mean? Not because he's horrible, like I say, just because he does his job and he knows what he's doing, do you know what I mean? And once he gets that ball in front of him, he's so hard to get it off him, do you know what I mean? He shields the ball so well.
Yeah. Okay, any kind of injury problems or anything ahead of tomorrow?
Jack Walls is sick. We've got a bit of a sickness problem with Jack Walls. Steely's unavailable for the next 2 weeks. Ben Barnes he's saying he's fit. He's still a bit of a doubt. But besides that, no, I think everyone else is fit. We're all raring to go. All looking to play the next game, and we're just looking to get points.
I noticed, without giving too much away, Adam Hughes seemed to have jarred his knee and came off quite early. Is that any kind of concern or not?
He hasn't highlighted it. He's put a thumbs up in the group when I've asked availability yesterday. He hasn't said anything that's of concern. it was more of a precaution bringing him off because we were 3-0 up. He's up against Elliott, who's really quality, do you know what I mean? And he was already on a yellow card.
Right.
So we didn't really want to risk him getting a red. He was feeling his knee at half time, so more to be safe rather than sorry. And then Jack had the enviable job of marking him, didn't he?
Well, we gave that goal away. He did well for their goal, but I mean, other than that, I have to say, I thought we handled him. And
we did.
Well,
we handled him very well. Yeah.
Right, okie doke. There we are, Paul. Happy couple of days for the Perps. We like them. Let's get some more. That's how we want to feel, isn't it? That's what it's all about. The next 3 points. Yeah. That's it.
It is pushing on and seeing where we end up.
Okie doke, mate. We'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully it's on. And thanks for joining us. And
Paul. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, ta-ra. For anyone who's still watching, just while Paul logs off, don't forget to subscribe, please. We're approaching 600 now subscribers. The whole point is to subscribe so that you get these videos. We're putting the effort in myself, Jason, who's uploading them, Jason, who's filming the games, putting the excerpts up, Mike and Sam, who do Perps FM, then do the match interviews, then do the match reports. There's an awful lot of media work going on in the club to raise the profile again. So can you please subscribe to Perps TV, and we keep this content coming if you're enjoying it. So thanks a lot, everyone, and good night.